All right, guys, good morning. We are on our way to work today, but just chit chat about the hobby here, stuff that's gone on. Jeff finally released his book. Good for him. I mean, people are going to joke about it and whatnot, but you know, hey, that he partnered with that company or that it makes the books for dummies or whatever it is are very popular. So, you know, I think that'll be some type of venture that gets wrapped into everything. I don't know if that's rolling through the actual sports card company or if that's more of a combined effort with him. I know Teapot said worked on it as well, so I don't know how the financials work with that, but good for them. It's always nice to throw a book out there. You know, I'm sure it's digital too, so in case some of y'all need to get it digitally, you can. But other than that, the PSA golden thing, I don't really care. Has no impact on me. I don't think it impacts a lot of people personally. It's one of those things that's just a decision point, but not impactful of it's going to change the way something is realistically done for the majority of us. So that I don't really care about. I do have a show this weekend. The Clearwater show is Friday and Saturday. I didn't see any signers. I know we've had signers for going back a long time now. I think they might have skipped one around Christmas, but go see how that show is. It's nice just to have, you know, the single show. It's not overlapping with a different one, so that's great. We had the St. Pete show this past weekend. That video's out, and then the Tampa show, I believe, is in a week or two. Seminole, I believe, is also having a show this month as well. So we'll see. I'll try and get to all of them. Seminole show is always a little bit harder because it's a little bit of a longer drive, and I can't consume every weekend going to a show with, you know, family and things that are going on. This time of year is very busy for a lot of us. So Eclipse came by, didn't change the card market. No big cards were pulled on the Eclipse that I know of. Surprising, because I figured that would have been the perfect time. eBay seems to be a dumping zone for a lot of raw that is not good enough to grade. And recently I bought a Baker Mayfield card, a numbered card, and I got it in. And the bottom edge had like a lift to it. And I replied to the seller, you couldn't see it in the photos. And the photos guy put in the comments, he wrote in the comments, Jim Mint, excellent condition card. And I said, hey, you know, card came in. I don't know if you just might have missed this, blah, 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 blah. And his response was, oh, they all come out of the pack that way. I'm like, no, this is like the center right of the card of like a good quarter inch or more of the card lifted up. So I was like, no, that's not how that works. So I was like, listen, I paid $20 for the card. I was like, and it was numbered, I think it's numbered to 10 or 5. So it's a low pop card anyway. It doesn't really matter. You know, it would have been nice to be able to grade it, and maybe I still can. I'll take a look at it, see if I can't card carry with a little bit of water and smash it down. I'm not going to do that. But I have another Baker too that's like that as well that I'll probably grade. But it was just more the fact that they were like, yeah, it's damaged, but they're all like that. I'm like, that's not how cards come out of pack. So you're dealing with that. I've got a lot of cards with roller lines on them, print lines and stuff like that. And I think what it is too is people are willing to let you buy the card, keep it, and then give you the discount if you ask for it. Because nobody's been arguing. I've done this now for like 4 or 5 cards where, you know, excellent condition, no problems. I messaged the seller, hey, are there any surface scratches, blah, blah, blah. No, everything's great card. I should probably grade it. And it's anytime they put that, oh, you should probably grade this shit in there, it's bullshit. The odds are they already did it. The other thing you got to look at on eBay is pay attention to what they sell. If you have these big companies, because I know darn well when somebody sends stuff to like these bigger eBay sellers, for instance, to liquidate cards, and maybe they're getting them from somebody that doesn't ever grade cards. You got to know that at the end of the day, they have to be looking that card over. And yes, they can't just probably buy it because the deal is to put it on and sell it. But they can win the auction knowing that it has a high probability of grading well, and getting money back. Because they have the eyes on the card because they're the ones who listed it. So keep that in mind too, because we get all this shill bidding. But some of this shill bidding is obviously egregious. And then other stuff is just like, I should have won that. Why did that go for $20 or $30 more than the last card? Like, it looks good, but it doesn't look any better than the last one. And sometimes it's the people that are selling it have other accounts that they're bidding on. I've also noticed other people that have more than one account because of where the product is coming from, and because I've gotten two cards from the same person on different accounts because it came from the same address. So they have more than one account that is set up that they're sending stuff from in envelopes. You know, on their eBay thing, it probably says a different address, but the envelope that I'm getting in the mail for like the cheaper shipping is the same address, different account. And then what I noticed is people are selling graded cards and stuff like that on one account and raw cards on another account, so that you don't assume, oh, they didn't grade this, they grade cards all the time or sell graded cards, that, you know, I can dump this over here basically. And that's what's going on right now a lot. And people aren't paying attention to that at all. You're just assuming everybody's just everybody. You have to understand that people in this hobby are going to do whatever they can to make the biggest buck at the end of the day. There are very few people that are willing to take, you know, the win when they have money in a car. Let's say they buy a car for $400 and they can get $500-600. They're like, oh, this is $1,000. I got to get $1,000. No, you don't. A lot of that goes on, and it's very disappointing. And a lot of people are bad liars, and a lot of people make shit up. I love listening to the conversations around the tables where somebody's trying to upsell their card, and they're talking, oh, you know, this is rare. Oh, he's going to be great. This card's going to go up next week. And all that bullshit that goes on. Listen, it's always worth what it's worth right now. If it's worth more to you, you'll pay more. Super easy. That's how that works. That's how cards go up anyway. Somebody keeps paying more because they're now getting priced into that situation where it keeps going up. Because I want a little more, I'm going to pay an extra $5. Screw you, I'm going to pay an extra $20 because I like this one. This one looks good. That creates a new comp. And I always laugh at the whole comp thing, because last comp, when it's the same comp on the car, let's say there's a car there's a 199 of. The last 5 comps are all within $5 of each other. And the guy at the show has the card marked up $60. And you're like, hey, can you come within comps? Oh, I can't do that. This card's going up. I was like, cards not that rare. A lot of them. They really aren't. And that's another question I'll have here in a minute. But I'll probably put a poll out on this. I'm really curious of what this answer to this question is for most people. But it's like, what do you want to collect? Because at this point, I feel like everybody's just flipping. You know, the people that are buying for the repacks, they have an avenue. They have pretty much a zero loss proposition going on. They know what they have into the product. They know what they're going to make off the product. They're fine with that percent, and they're doing it in volume, so they're making good money. They're also getting to stay in the hobby, because listen, if you're selling and dealing in the hobby and don't have a store, like a real store, you're playing a game. Realistically, you're playing 100% a game. You're not going into it as a business per se. For most people, I don't see a lot of people that can do this without all the whatnots and everything else. But it's happening, and repackers right now are doing well. But all that repack product at some point is getting recycled back into repack product. You know, and without new product being open, which now a lot is open, you get that product. So it's a double-edged sword, but somebody has to do it. And, you know, I know people like, I only buy raw, I don't get into the packs. I get that, it's gambling. But they'll go to the casino and lose 10 grand. So, and I'd rather spend 10 grand on breaks and then have a whole bunch of cards that I might be able to get some of my money back for. Even if it's not now, later, because things go up. Bowman's, again, the fine line of the hobby, getting ready to come out. I'm just going to go and get random teams because the prices on those jumbo boxes were ridiculous. And the price for a regular box for one auto is ridiculous. The Bowman has always been a very valuable product in bulk, and always a very valuable product to get into at retail, because you can get a lot at retail. Now, I don't know what they're going to hold back, because I noticed since Fanatics has taken Topps over, Topps has pulled a lot of the cards that you can still get at a ridiculous rate or a ridiculous pull factor out of retail. So I'm really curious to how that affects retail this year. And do you still have the chance to pull a red or a card to 10? And do they start taking that away and making it where it's going to get 100 or less or 50 or less? Panini does the same thing with their retail now, where they have these cards that you can hit, but there's so much product to hit it, is you just got to get lucky at that point. But the question I had was, what is considered a rare card? All right. Is it the amount of packs it takes to pull a card? Is it a card numbered to 10 or less, 25 or less, 50 or less? 100 or less, what's rare? Because I know when we see a card numbered to 99, we're like, oh, there's plenty. You know, and if somebody likes a player enough and the player's popular enough, 99 is not enough. Now we make different variations and you have to settle and blah, 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 blah. But what do you consider a rare card? We all like the golds to 10, for instance, or to 5 because they do all the stupid numbers. They don't just keep things nice and simple. The old refractors were to 50. You know, it's sometimes to 100, sometimes to 300, 500. It's, you know, different. But what's rare? Because when I look at older cards especially, a card can be numbered to 1,500, but if you go online, you're lucky if you find 2. So there's 1,500 of them, all hidden in somebody's garage or their storage unit or buried in a collection that nobody's looked at yet. But I don't think that's the case. I just think either the product was thrown away, or never ripped, and just that much stuff didn't come out. A lot of that product wasn't printed as much as it is now, by far. And it's still just nowhere to be found, or just somebody's hoarding a fantastic collection, where maybe they tried to make the numeric order of 1 through 100, which is almost impossible. But all right, guys, just a little drive chat. Let me know what you think. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I hopefully have that Clearwater show for you, hopefully Sunday, if not Monday, based on what's going on. And I already got my room, the Airbnb, booked for the National. I do gotta get my flights because recently they just changed all those, and for some reason, flying to Tampa to Cleveland, it's miserable to find a one-way flight, and nobody likes to stop, and I want to waste 5 or 6 hours of my day flying early in the morning to get somewhere at, you know, noon, and just have to wait on a plane the whole time. And I don't fly well to begin with, so we'll see how that goes. I'm just paying attention to the flights, but I'll probably be there from Tuesday to Sunday, and it's going to be a good time, and it's coming up fast, guys, real fast. All right, take care.